first day as a member of the 501st. It was hot, it was sandy, chaotic. Nothing at all like the simulations on Camino. Of course, that's pretty much the way it was for all of us, wasn't it? All that breeding, all those years of training. It doesn't really prepare you for all the screaming or the blood, does it? Frankly, I'm still amazed we ever made it through the first hour. Never mind the first day.
In 2025, I played Star Wars Battlefront 2. This game originally released in 2005, so you might be a little bit confused thinking about the recent Star Wars Battlefront games. But nah, this is completely different. This is the OG. This is the game that anybody in their late 20s, early 30s, you remember this game. This was the Star Wars game. This changed everything. This had literally some of the best Star Wars ever. It was just so good. Even if you weren't a fan of Star Wars, you knew what this game was. And like for me, this is some of the best, absolute best gaming moments of my life. I love this game. I used to play it with my dad. I was 11 years old, and I remember when it snowed and there was no school. I had some hot chocolate, man, and I was playing this game. This was the shit. This was also my first online game, online experience. Period. It was great. And guys, we're going to get into the video here. We're going to look at it and just see what this game had to offer. How does it stack up to nowadays games? Yeah, the graphics are a little dated. The controls are a little dated, but the game is overall still good, and it definitely warrants anybody, any Star Wars fan, any FPS player, to go back and give it a shot and see what you think. These are the real Star Wars Battlefront games. Unfortunately, the fact is, I'm not as good at this game as I once was, and this game seems so much harder now than it did back in 2005. But if you can just get over to the fact that it's not as smooth and it's not as simple as some of the newer games, you will get into this game. It is so worth it. It's got so many good modes. You got the conquest mode, instant action, and you still got some multiplayer servers that are going. I've actually played some multiplayer later on in the video, and it was actually pretty solid. It wasn't a huge community or anything, but there's a couple small communities left online for this. Growing up, this is one of my favorite maps, Felucia. It was such a good map. It had such a good overall vibe and play to it. It made you really feel that you was on some foreign planet, some alien planet fighting these droids, fighting the CIS. It was so intriguing, you know. And I know some of you younger guys are looking at this like, God, those graphics are absolute shit. But in 2005, on the PlayStation 2, this was absolutely like god-tier graphics. I remember I was like, there's no way graphics could ever get better than this. There's no way it could look better. And you know, here 20 years later, it's a little bit different. A little bit different. One thing about these games that's always really annoyed me, especially since the new Battlefront series came out, they're named Battlefront 1 and 2. Well, technically they're not. They're like Battlefront 3 and 4. These games that are coming out now are nowhere near as good as this one was. This one had so much to offer, and I'm so sure that so many of you guys that are of my age, you remember this game. You remember playing this game. And it was just so solid. And here comes one of my favorite parts of the game. You actually get to play as a hero, or you know, a Jedi, or a Sith, Boba Fett. Stuff like that. You even get to play as Han Solo. It's so cool because you run around and just absolutely fucking destroy everything. It took me a few minutes here to get used to it again. It's a little weird. Like I said earlier, the controls are a little wonky. especially on the PC now. I don't know how this game played before, but now we have a little bit of issues with black screens and stuff like that, but I think I figured it out, and it was actually Discord that was causing it. So if you guys do want to play this on PC, make sure you close Discord, because Discord will cause issues. But look at this, I'm absolutely just jumping around destroying everything with these lightsabers. I remember here I could actually throw the lightsaber, and of course I threw it over top. So I'm running up there and I'm gonna go quack, quack, fuck him up. There we go. And then this one right here, he wants some, so I'm gonna give him a little dose. Give little homie here a little dose too. And we're just gonna keep on rolling. We're gonna keep on moving. Unfortunately, we do lose this match, but it wasn't for the lack of trying. And of course, I have to show off Mos Eisley. This was one of my favorite maps, and for me, I grew up watching the original trilogy before I started the 1 through 3. So, anyway, I always love playing as an Imperial Stormtrooper. It's always been my favorite. It's still one of my favorite when I do play one of the more recent Battlefront games. But just look how cool this is, and of course, I blast that Shock Trooper as he runs around the corner. But watch this, I absolutely go in and absolutely slay some rebels here. And I'm trying to capture this command post so we can get a little bit of foothold here. We end up actually winning this game, so I actually got a little bit better this round and had a lot more fun. I'll be looking to play this a lot more here over the next little bit. Here we go, guys. We got Boba Fett coming in. Absolutely dump on these guys with Boba Fett. It was a blast. It felt so good, to be honest with you. It felt great reliving my childhood playing this game that I regard so much. I have so much regard for this game because it was so good. And I loved it. It just makes me feel like I'm 11 years old again, sitting in my mom and dad's house playing video games on a Saturday, Sunday morning, school day, snow day, whatever. It brings back so many good memories, and I'm sure this does for a lot of you guys too. And if it does, make sure you let me know in the comments. I want to hear you guys. I want to know what you guys had experienced with this game. Did you play Battlefront 1? Did you play this Battlefront? Or have you only played the new ones? Now, I told you guys earlier that there was still some multiplayer going on. And there is, not a whole lot though, but like 13 out of 39, that was still enough for me to get in there and have a little bit of fun and kind of relive the olden days when I used to play online with the PlayStation 2. A lot of you guys didn't know, but the PS2, the fat PS2, actually had an adapter that you could buy where you could plug an Ethernet cable in the back. And this is one of the games that I started off with, along with Call of Duty 3. And just watch some of this, and the only problem with the small communities like this, the games like this that are so old, is you run into a lot of sweats. Like these guys, some of these guys here, not all of them, some of these guys have been playing this game probably for 10 years on here, and they are so good that you, as a new guy coming back to it after 20 years, like I did, you're probably going to get smacked, and it's going to take you a long time to get good on these guys' level. So keep that in mind if you decide to try this online. And honestly, I don't have a whole lot of the multiplayer here to show. We ended up losing this game, but I think it'd be boring for you guys to watch me get absolutely dicked on, because these guys were good. These guys were fucking good. So if you guys have anything else y'all want to add to it, let me know in the comments. I want to know what you all think about the game. Do you all have the sweet spot in your heart for me like I did? What other games do you all like? What other older games do you guys really hold a nice soft spot for? Because this is important. These were back when games were made for the players and not only profit. So guys, that is what I have to say. I have Copal Chuck, and I will speak with you again soon.